Hi, it's Darnell with Wave Oven Recipes, and this is my 30-day review of the KitchenAid Countertop Oven with Air Fry. And I want to start off by saying that this, generally speaking, is a decent little cooker. It's pretty decent for what it was made to do. And it's not the biggest cooker, but for its size, it does what it can cook and was made to cook well. And it's not the hottest or the coldest cooker either, but it performs, as far as cooking and cooking temperatures, it performs decently for getting food cooked the way you want it cooked. And so basically, just overall, generally, it's not a cooker that stands out above and beyond any other in any very good or very bad aspect. It's just a solid design cooker, and it does a decent job. It's got a nice look to it, a nice new look. And so, it looks nice and it does a decent job. Now, I should add that if you have not already seen my initial review of this cooker, be sure to go back in the older videos here on my channel to the initial review. Typically here on this channel, I do first an initial review where I review all the details, I do all the test cooks, all the other stuff that you won't see in this video. In this 30-day review, I follow up about 30 days later, tell you my thoughts, impressions after using the cooker over a period of time, so that we get a feel of how the cooker really feels, more than just that out-the-box initial wow factor. But we see how it really is after we settled in using it for like 30 days and see how we really like it, really don't like it. And so in this video, I'm basically talking to you about how I feel about it and things that went on. And so I want to point out with this cooker, the user interface is very easy to figure out, very easy to use. It's not a lot of complicated buttons and stuff. It's just, pretty simple and easy. And so I did like that about this cooker. I'll also say that when you're cooking and you need to change the temperature on the fly, like you need to add time, you need to adjust temperature, that's very easy to do with this cooker. Now I want to say that one thing that is a little annoying about this cooker is that when you open the door, it doesn't do an auto pause. So when it's done preheating, and you might want to give it the time to preheat before you put your food in, right after it's done preheating, it doesn't give you time to put the food in. It doesn't wait or anything like that. You just have to basically open up after the preheat, put your food in. The fan's never really blowing too hard, so that's never really a problem of hot air really blowing on you or anything like that. But you have to open up, put your food in, and then you might need to adjust the knob a little to turn it back to the time that you want in full. And I found that with this and all cookers, it's best to let them do their preheat if they have a preheat built in, to let them warm up before you put your stuff in there, with the exception of the Ninja Foodie XL Pro Air Fryer Oven. That has like a 90-second preheat. Now that preheat is so fast and does not reach the full temperature anyway, so in those cases I do just leave the food in there during its preheat because it's so quick. But with this particular cooker, let it preheat, then put the food in, then gotta, maybe adjust the knob a little bit to get the time to where it should be for the cooking time. But other than that, it's not too much of a hassle. It does, give you the beep to let you know when to put the food in, and you can go ahead. I will say, as far as the overall cooking ability of this countertop cooker, it's about on par with like the Emerald 360 type cookers and average air fryer oven cooking, as far as the temperature, getting things cooked through and things of that sort. So it's not going to take an extra long time compared to other cookers, and it's not going to do things any exceptionally speed faster, but you can basically cross-compatible use a lot of recipes and things that would come in something like my cookbook that we'll talk about later. But you can use things that are made for other air fryer ovens, and they work pretty well same time in this cooker. You just, in this cooker, give it its preheat time before you put your food in there. And there's something interesting about the light in this cooker. The light comes on during the cook, but there's no way to manually turn the light on and off. Since the light does come on and it stays on during the cook, and it's on when I'm getting my food in and out and I can see my food while it's cooking, there's never an issue of needing to control the light. but it's just, something to keep in mind. There is no manual way to manage the light yourself. Now I'm going to be talking about the functions of the cooker and how those performed in my use. I will be looking at my notes to try and make sure that I don't mislead you in anything I say. But I'll say for the toast function that this cooker, it toasts very well. And when it's hot already, when you put your toast in, it adjusts its time down. It knows when it's hot, so it tries not to overcook your toast. And that's nice. And as far as toast is concerned, I'd say, if this does do anything exceptionally well, it's toast. It toasts very well, both sides of it. So, you don't need a pop-up toast or anything of that sort. This does a great job of making toast, and anytime I've used it for toasting, and I use it all the time for toasting, even used it literally this morning for toasting. So it does a good job with that. For air fry, it works well. But you do want to wait through the preheat, before adding your food, as I mentioned, for the best results. And for things that drip, there is a little bit of a hassle with dripping that I'll tell you about. Now, what I wanted to point out regarding air frying is that when you're air frying something without drippings, you can just use the air fry basket with nothing underneath. But if you have something with a lot of drippings, they recommend that you use just this bake pan with that grill rack in there and air fry that way. When you air fry that way with things just in this pan, well, on the rack, you don't get as much airflow. You need about an extra 5 minutes for things to finish air frying than you would normally if you were just using like maybe the basket alone. But things do fry on both sides without flipping over. Even in this pan on that rack there, they'll still fry, crisp on both sides. So it'll get things accomplished either way, but you'll need probably an extra 5 if you're doing it, using it this way. Since they recommended anything with drippings be put in here, I can't say that I tried putting things in the air fry basket and just leaving the pan underneath to catch drippings to try and allow a little extra airflow. But as you see, I have things positioned to show you that there is room to try that if that's something you wanted to try. And with the fan in the back, it may work out for you. Now with baking, it bakes on par with like a conventional oven as far as the quality of the bake and the time that it needs to bake. Things don't get dried out in this cooker. And I saw no real need to have to spin things, not really. You can if you want, but you don't really need to spin things as far as baking is concerned. I did find with cooking bacon using air fry, I did need to spin to make sure that my bacon was evenly crisp, but for other things that I was baking, I didn't usually have to spin, but you can if you feel that you need to or you want to. But it does a decent job with the bake. Broil definitely works well. Do have a video coming to demonstrate how broil works. There are some features that I didn't use. I did not use dehydrate because usually when I dehydrate, I want to dehydrate a lot. I use a Ninja Foodi XL Pro Air oven. I've shown that in the dehydration kit with all those rack levels and stuff, so I can dehydrate a whole bunch using that when I want to dehydrate. So I use that when I'm dehydrating. This one's a small cooker. I don't use it for dehydration, but I see no need why I could not do it for you. But you're basically going to have this to do all your dehydrating on, and usually for myself I want to dehydrate more than that in one go. Some other functions I didn't use were proof, bagel, reheat, and keep warm. I just didn't have a need to do those functions while using this cooker, so didn't get to use those, but I see no reason why I couldn't do them well. Also, I had no major smoke issues with this cooker ever, so no major smoke problems. Not really. I think when I was doing burgers or something, I don't know, but they were already about done anyway. They were already done. So I haven't had anything where, it wasn't done and then I'm getting like smoke before it was done or anything. And even when it has had some smoke come out for something like that, it was light. It wasn't, crazy. I never had an issue with smoke alarms and nothing like that. Nothing to that level at all. That's how low and how infrequent there was any smoke coming from this cooker. Basically never, except for maybe once, and that's in a month of use and cooking all types of things. And this is a very quiet cooker. I mean, I basically never heard it, when using it. I pretty much never hear it when using it. So it's very quiet. It's one of the quietest cookers I've, ever used. Also, cleaning this cooker, as I've already shown the inside of it, very easy. Things don't stick, so, pretty easy. This air fry basket, I did always put it in the dishwasher. The other stuff I just wash by hand myself. Oh, this little grate thing, this little grill rack thing, I put this in the dishwasher too. I put them both, this in the air fry basket on the top level, but everything else I'd wash by hand. So I want to show you this matter with the door and the crumbs, and also show you the inside a little bit after 30 days of use. But with the door hinge, you see under here these crumbs that are like down under there. This is an ongoing issue. They are tough to get out. I mean, unless you're using like a Q-tip or something real slim. But the crumbs, they get stuck in there because when you open the door here, any crumbs, they fall down here on the door. And when you open, or when you close the door, I should say, when you close the door, they fall down right there and they get stuck. Haven't had this problem with most cookers because their door design allows the crumbs to fall down under the cooker to your countertop, and then you can just wipe your countertop off. With this particular cooker, the crumbs fall down here, they get stuck, and you can do your best, or think that you can handle it, but with this cooker you're always going to have this issue of crumbs down here. You try and like wipe and get down in there, and you end up maybe putting them over into the corner here, and then they get stuck in the corner. Then you got crumbs stuck in the corner. It's a bit of a pain. It's a very nuisance type of thing. And so I also want to show you inside. Inside though, when it comes to cleaning the inside, I've done all types of air frying, baking, done all types of stuff, a good bit, good bit of baking, good bit of air frying and other stuff in here. And look inside there, you guys know, I don't do any real special deal stuff to try and clean the insides of my cookers out to get any hard stains off. I never do because I don't worry about it much and it doesn't cause really any issues. But this one, very little stain stuck on anything. I mean, the inside's very non-stick. It's very non-stick. And so that's pretty cool that this cooker, the inside's very non-stick. Things don't get really stuck in there like with some other cookers. It doesn't get a lot of discoloration. I think the folks at KitchenAid did a good job in thinking out the interior to make sure that it's, not getting too dirty in there too easily. Now I want to talk about this cooker in comparison with some others. If I don't compare it to something that you are interested in, then you'll just have to kind of look at some of the videos related to some other cooker that you might be interested in and see what you think. But as I always say when I do these comparisons, please get what works for you and what you like. What I like is not necessarily what you like. Just because I like it does not mean that you'll like it. So, consider carefully the functions, features, and what you see. I try and, that's why I try and put out a lot of videos cooking in these things and other stuff so that you can see how they perform when I'm using them. Of course, I'm not you. I'm sure you'll use all these cookers way better than me. But all the same, you kind of get an idea of how they perform. Now, the first one that I want to talk about comparison with is the Emerald Galaxy Power Air Fryer 360 XL Air Fryer Ovens, and the regular size 360 as well. I mean, my thoughts are the same. Both of them are bigger than this cooker, but the KitchenAid has, to me, a more sturdy build in my opinion. In my opinion, this is a quality build of a cooker. And if space wasn't an issue, personally I'd go with the KitchenAid if space wasn't an issue. But because the 360 and 360 XL are bigger, I need that space, I'll go with them when needing a space, or if space is my concern. So really, the KitchenAid is better for what it can hold. Now, in comparison to the Cuisinart Chef's Convection Toaster Oven, overall the Cuisinart is better, but the KitchenAid has a newer look, so the KitchenAid looks, I think, probably nicer than the Cuisinart Chef's Convection Toaster Oven, but still all the same, the Chef's Convection Toaster Oven. I mean, when Cuisinart made that thing, it's an older cooker, but they did it right, they got it right when they did that as far as, coming into the air fryer oven game. Now compared to the Ninja Foodi XL Pro Air Oven, the Ninja can cook things a little faster than this cooker and has more features. So basically the Ninja wins, generally speaking, and if it's just about just getting an air fry oven that has no other features to it but is an air fryer oven, it doesn't have a microwave built in, then I like the Ninja Foodi XL Pro Air Fryer Oven myself personally when I'm just doing my general air fry oven type cooks. If I need something that has that space that the Ninja Foodi has that room to hold a lot of stuff. But it's a really good air fry oven, and as far as just pure air fry ovens go, it is probably the best just pure air fry oven in my opinion. But the last comparison I want to do is with my absolute favorite cooker overall of all, which is the Cuisinart Microwave Air Fryer. And the Cuisinart Microwave Air Fryer, in my opinion, is just better in every way. It can cook faster, it has the microwave, it has the air fryer, it can do it all. And as far as air fryers go, I like my microwave air fryer, my Cuisinart Microwave Air Fryer, for even air frying better than I do the Ninja Foodi XL Pro Air Oven, because the Cuisinart can air fry things faster. That microwave air fryer can air fry faster too. So the Cuisinart Microwave Air Fryer is still my personal favorite cooker. If you're interested in that cooker, I would definitely recommend that you look at my initial review and 30-day review of that cooker before you do anything further. But that's my take as far as the cookers I like, don't like, and what have you. Now, I did mention my cookbook earlier, and I mentioned that a lot of the recipes in that book are compatible with this particular cooker. And that cookbook, I've tried to cover a few different types of cookers in that cookbook, but all the same, most of those recipes are cross-compatible with different cookers. All different types of cookers that are countertop ovens, they're cross-compatible. And if there are any adjustments or changes needed, it'd be a matter of minutes, one maybe needing more or less minutes than the other, but otherwise the recipes are fully cross-compatible. So I do have the cookbook. The links to that are in the video description if you're interested in the cookbook. Also in the video description are referral links for this cooker. If you're interested in it, you can get it and pay the same price but help this channel. And also there's other ways to help the channel in the video description if you're interested in that. And so with all of that said, I just want to say if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.